We're going where you want to go so you can be where you need to be. It's Road Gang Radio with Lindsay, Lawler, and Jimmy Mack on RadioNemo.com.
All right, today we are thrilled to welcome to the show. She's a powerhouse, man. I mean that when I say that. You know I don't use that word if I don't mean it. Powerhouse voice. She's soul-driven. She's got so much spirit. Maggie Noelle, frontwoman of the Kentucky Rock and Soul Quintet Magnolia Boulevard, is joining us. Magnolia Boulevard puts first of all, they put on a really powerful live show. I watched a couple videos, and so much so that they won Best Rock Band at the Lexington Music Awards. They took first prize at Floyd's Fest on the Rise Band competition. They've shared stages with the likes of Blues Traveler, Marcus King, George Porter Jr., and now, most importantly, I will say, after 8 years of triumphs and heartbreaks and births and losses and lineup changes and all the things that you want in a good documentary but don't want for the band, maybe, they're finally releasing their long-awaited self-titled debut LP on November 28th. Very exciting. Now, guys, if you like Tedeschi Trucks Band, if you like Bonnie Raitt, if you like Grace Potter, this music will speak to you. And by the way, if you don't like that music, we are probably not going to be friends. So you can just change the channel now. This record isn't just live music. It's really live experience. You can hear it in it. The band says these songs are them, both from the struggle and growth and demons and angels and all of it. And you can really hear it. We are going to talk about it. We're going to dive deep. The album drops Thanksgiving week with a special Friendsgiving hometown show at the Burl in Lexington. You're going to love this music and this guest. Please make welcome to the show my new friend, soon to be yours, Maggie Noelle. Good morning.
Woo! Good morning. Thank you. Such nice things that you had to say.
Maggie, you there?
Yeah, Maggie, awesome. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Jim, can you not hear?
No, I cannot.
All right. My co-host is having a problem hearing you, so we will dive in while we figure that out. Jim, can you hear her now? Maggie, say hello.
Hey, testing, checking the microphone.
Oh, Maggie, you ain't got to check the You ain't got to check the microphone, Maggie. That's on my end. Good morning to you, Maggie.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Doing Dan and Grandy. I'm going to jump in here, Lindsay. I want to ask, because there's something about doing a live album. Can you talk about the decision to do that and why you guys playing in the reels is so important? What audiences give you? Because I mean, basically, if you guys watch them in front of a crowd, it's galvanizing is the best word to kind of describe it. But talk to me about why you guys in the live and in the reel are so important.
I've always said we've always been, we feel the audience, when we're putting our sound out, it's always really nice that it's just well reciprocated, and I feel like people really, they get in the groove, they like our lyrics, and it's been really cool. But to clarify, I'm not sure if this is what you said. This album that we're putting out is not a live album, but we're really excited about this album for sure.
It's not a live album, but the live show is amazing, and the tracks that I've also heard off the record are fabulous. And you know what, Maggie, if you don't mind, I'm just going to dive in. I'm going to go deep because I don't have time to beat around the bush and talk about the weather and the movies that are out. I go deep. That's what I do. And so I'm a songwriter in Nashville, and we actually do a show around here called We Should Write, which is about the healing power of writing. And which, by the way, I would be honored for you to come back on, just knowing a little more about your story and reading about it. Because here's something really important. You guys were writing through. You say it's 8 years, and it's the life lived. And I think it's really important for people to note. I think people listen to music sometimes really passively, which is fine. That's great. If you can escape with music, that's wonderful. But we listen driving in a car, in the background at a party, or whatever, and we don't sometimes think about not only the process of writing the song, the production of it, but more importantly, the life that needed to be lived in order to be able to write that song. And yourself, as well as your band members, have gone through a lot, from the loss of your drummer to you having a baby, which is just a smack in the face of the circle of life right there. Can you just talk about give everybody a little peek behind the curtain as to what it takes when you've gone through all these emotional highs and lows, and then you come back center, the pendulum swings back the other way, and then you meet sort of in the middle, and realize, all right, it's time to grow and heal and write through this and then put it out to the world? What is that feeling like to make that commitment to your storytelling?
Oh man, honestly, it's been a little conflicting for me in the past, just because I tend to write out my feelings, and songwriting for many years for me has been somewhat of a type of therapy, to just write it all out and let it out, and so it's a song. Its meaning can change over time as well, But I personally love how a song can mean something to you, and then it can be interpreted in a different way to the audience, and that's really what I love to do the most. Just as long as it like touches somebody in some kind of way, to where it's giving them those heart feels, and maybe they can cry through something, or just expressing emotion. It's a really gratifying feeling for me. We have a song out called Sister that I wrote a long time ago for my best friend. But anyways, that song for years, and I'll just add this song I've called my Hallmark song for years. I'm hoping that maybe Hallmark movie will buy it. That'd be cool. But
Hallmark, if you're listening, call Maggie.
Thank you. Yeah, I wrote that for my best friend, and I've had so many people come up and say, this song means so much to me. I play this song for my baby every night, or I sent this song to my sister who, we haven't spoken 10 years, and the song was a bridge for our relationship, So, like I said, a song can be interpreted in so many different ways for so many different people, and it makes my heart feel good that people are just receiving what we put out, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
No, and really quickly, I wanted to ask about audiences. I seem to be obsessed with them. You talk about the song meaning something different to other people. Have you ever had the experience, and Lindsay, you can talk about this too, where the song meant one thing to you, and then an audience's response? I don't mean like you thought the song was great and the audience didn't. I'm talking about where you could tell from the way the audience was with you on a song that they were feeling the song in a very different way than you feel it. Does that make sense? Have you ever had that experience where it's like, this is a very different reaction to this, not a bad one, than I thought it would be, but I'm kind of okay with that, and it's helped me understand the song better? Does that make sense?
It does. It does. I mean, that's just kind of, it goes into what I was saying, like it meaning different things for different people. I think that's just such a beautiful thing for music all around. It's just a completely different language that we all speak with one another, But for example, Devil You Know, that will be on the album. We've released that song, so you can hear it now. That one, it was written with the intention of trying to express the emotional side of the other girl, right? So,
her.
And that was a tough one to write about, to really try to put yourself in someone's shoes in a kind of conflicting way, But I've had, Lord, I'm making a mess in my kitchen. I hope y'all didn't hear that.
It's just a reminder that you're real. You're real,
You're
Maggie.
people.
I'm real. If you saw the mess in my kitchen, then you'd really know that I was real. But
this is not an AI conversation. This is not an AI artist, everybody.
Maggie is actually real. Yeah, real.
But no, back to Devil You Know, like I said, from that perspective, nobody's really going to know that right off, and I've had a couple people be like, what happened there? I really love this song because you really expressed that, this isn't the right person for me, so.
But Maggie, what's so cool about that is I think what I'm hearing you say, or what I think that does, is give humanity to the quote unquote villain, the bad guy in the story. I think that it's really important sometimes when we can't figure out why something's happened or why something's done something, someone has done something or acted a certain way. It's a chance to do what you just did, do a little bit of role playing, step into their shoes and be like, how would I have acted in this situation? There's obviously a reason behind it. Hurt people, and or there was something going on behind the scenes that I didn't know. And it's I think you writing a song like that from that perspective, I mean, dare I say, is how we bridge a lot of gaps in this world and a lot of divisiveness when people can hear that thing and emote something that's like, okay, wow, I need to think before I react and realize. It sounds like to me it was like, oh, I realized ultimately this was working out in my benefit because I wasn't supposed to be with that person, right?
Right, yeah. You're exactly right. You know, it. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I just said that's huge.
I want to say something here too, and one of the things that I've always thought about the other woman, the other man, and all that kind of stuff is that we often encourage in this society people to kind of go with their gut. When you've met the one, nothing should get in your way. Well, I wonder how many people have been the other person and decided, I'm really sorry that I'm messing with somebody's life and their relationship, but I've met this guy or I've met this gal, and I'm going to have them. And, we celebrate that so much about the idea, especially with guys, like she's the one and I'm going to get her. But, we don't talk about the fact that a lot of these people who actually end up breaking up marriages or coming between relationships wherever they are often people who are responding to somebody else's unhappiness. They're responding to a connection that they've made with somebody. And it's a great reminder, too, that when we make a connection with somebody, we often make incredible decisions, and sometimes we make incredibly bad decisions because those connections can be overwhelming. And it seems like a song is kind of the best place to capture the mindset of somebody who is the other woman. And I feel in many ways you can write somebody else's perspective in a song in a way that lets the audience know, I am not this person, but I am. Am I making sense here, guys? That the audience gets you are not the other woman, but that you're writing about the other woman from a sympathetic place, which is very difficult to do in a lot of other art forms. Does that make sense, guys? Am I getting through here?
You are. You're making total sense. And like to touch back with what I was saying earlier, that was a really tough thing for me to try to do, to put myself in that person's shoes. And especially, just for my own mental health and my aggression and me not wanting to, call somebody's eyeballs out, But, again, it's just it helped me, process things a little bit better.
What's her name, Maggie? What's her name?
I'm saying it.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Maggie,
Maggie, I'm going to give you my phone number. You can text me her name, and I'll say it. That way you won't have to say it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lindsay.
I want to pivot and talk about your voice, Maggie, because your voice is really, really special. And two things are at play here for me. First of all, to me, your singing voice does not match your speaking voice, does not match your picture. To me, they're like three different personalities, which I think is actually a really cool thing. And also, by the way, I'm saying that because it's going to make people want to go Google you and find out really quickly and then listen to the music and do all the things. But it's such a fascinating thing to me to be like, I heard your music first, and then now I'm hearing you talk actually on the phone, obviously, and I'd seen your picture. I'm like, these things, that's not what I expected. It's not what I expected in the best way. But also, Maggie, I hear this in your singing voice, this conversational Southern rock meets haunting Adele thing going on, which I mean as the highest compliment.
Thank you.
That's
Have you
pretty
ever heard
good,
that?
Lindsay.
I like it. I love it. That's a great compliment.
Well, I'm surprised you hadn't heard that, and I'm curious to you, but since your voice does bring that raw conversational thing. When I listen to you sing, I feel like we're in conversation. And to me, that's really important, especially from a songwriting perspective. How much of that is intentional with you about how much of your sound is intentional, I guess I say, and how much is just like, this is Maggie, here I am. What goes into that?
Man, it's a great question. It's a little bit of a mystery for me, to be quite honest. I've been singing since I was itty bitty, so it kind of came naturally. I'll just say this too: this band that we created 8 years ago, this is the first electric band that I've ever been in. I grew up kind of in like the bluegrass scene, with my family and whatnot, and always played acoustic guitar. So this band was really like my first outlet to like really kind of amplify my vocals in a way that I didn't even know was possible. So,
yeah,
you're definitely not the first person to say that. I had one person kind of put their finger in my face and was like, "That's not how you really talk." And I'm like, "You don't know me." But
that's not that's not your purse.
what?
But yeah, I don't know. Man.
I'll
I've
explain.
had a lot of people say that. You like to what?
I don't know. Go on, Maggie.
Go on.
I think that was all I was going to say. I'm moving slow, and my brain's moving slow today too. So if I didn't answer the question correctly, just let me know.
You answered.
No,
it
you did.
beautifully. There's no right or
did
wrong
great.
answer to your voice, obviously. So it's who you are.
No, the thing and by the way, guys, I apologize. You don't know me. That's not my purse. That's a line from King of the Hill. So the way you said it was so in that rhythm. I just was like kind of referencing a television show. But Lindsay's right. There really is, there really is a sense of, that people, even when they've been doing this for a long time, often find their voice or a different version of their voice when they get exposed, because so much of being on stage in a musical environment, in a band, is actually working with your collaborators. And the addition of new instruments, to go from a folk sort of feeling, and then to actually add the amplification of electrics requires you kind of amplify your voice and then hear yourself in a different way. My question that kind of ties in with Lindsay's question is, do you hear it? I mean, when you sing, does it seem like a logical thing that voice is coming from you? I know that sounds odd to people, but there have been people who have actually gone and taken vocal lessons who didn't know they could sound like that. Is there ever a moment where you ever think to yourself, this is coming from someplace else other than me? And there's no right or wrong answer there, but that kind of sense of where you feel the spirit in a way, that there's something different going on inside of you than there is when you're just shooting the breeze with a bunch of lunatics on a Friday morning on a radio show.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of times, and it's a lot of, like you were saying, the collaboration with everyone together. Like, just like sometimes when everybody's passing the basketball around and everything's fitting in the pocket just the way it is, and then I'm able to, pull out this part of my vocal, and I'm able to give myself cold chills. That is most definitely something. That's spirit. So I like that you described it as spirit.
I like to call it downloads. When it comes to me, I'm like,
yeah.
this came from somewhere else. Okay, let's go. Okay, this album comes out November 28th, which is Thanksgiving week, right around Thanksgiving time, rather. And you guys have a show in your hometown for the release, which is really exciting. To me, there feels like some symbolic, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the timing feels really symbolic. Releasing this debut album that time of year, where the album drops right around a time when we're reflecting on gratitude and sitting, rooted in connection and reflection. Was there a method to that madness, or why Thanksgiving week for this release?
Honestly, I could see where you could see if there was some connection there, but there wasn't. It was kind of serendipitous how it happened. This is actually
that's cool.
Our second annual Friendsgiving show at the Burl, and it just kind of lined up where we were able to release the full album on the show date. So it's definitely gratifying. There wasn't a connection there, but again, serendipitous.
Well, I think that's even cooler, actually, when things happen. They're like, oh, this makes it. It would have made too much sense if you'd planned it. You know what I mean? It's cooler that you did. It's another reason. Like for me, it goes back to spirit again. It's another reason. It's like this is all just part of your story and your plan, and really makes sense. That's my take, Jim.
And like I said, this album has been a long time coming. Brian and I, our keyboard player, we're the two original members of the band. And, as you said, we've really went through a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And, you know, at times it's like, why are we doing this? You know, why are we self-torturing ourselves? But
oh my God, I can relate to that. Go on.
I say that every morning. I say that every morning.
But yeah, it's definitely this album release on our hometown annual show at that. You know, it's a very gratifying feeling because our community has really stepped up and been, you know, through thick and thin throughout the history of this band. So to be able to wrap it all up and release it with our hometown community, it's a really good feeling.
I'm actually going to invoke a little of my co-host spirit here about the whole about the release party and the Friendsgiving, and simply say this: I think it's a manifestation. I think that when you're the kind of people that have it, that actually create a Friendsgiving show, a show in celebration of your friends, it's bound to actually the energy of the universe is going to pull it all together, Lindsay. That's like kind of my take.
Yeah.
I think that's where that's coming from. I might actually, Lindsay, make a birthday gift of myself since my birthday is the 25th. I might actually join that Friendsgiving celebration and drive up to Nashville for that.
Hey.
And
It's not in Nashville. It's in Lexington.
It doesn't make any difference. It's all the same drive at the end of the day. It's all the same drive. It's all the same drive.
We make that drive all the time too, buddy. Y'all come on up. Welcome you. We love it.
Come on up. Come on up, you say. Well, so that show's coming up. The music is, some of the tracks are already out now. You can obviously hear past music that is already out. I'm going to really encourage our listeners. So, you know, Maggie, the vast majority of our audience are over-the-road truck drivers. And as you know, they have a lot of time on the road to listen to music. What's one thing? We've got about a minute here left. What would you say to the truck driving community, why this music it puts you in a meditative space on the road?
Oh man, there's gonna be a couple songs that would fit pretty well for those types of folks. But I would say definitely listen to "On My Own." Truckers out there, that's a good one because y'all are in your vehicle all day by yourself, and it'll put you in a go-go mood.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Everybody, please check out this fabulous band. It's Magnolia Boulevard. You can head over to magnoliaboulevardband.com. And please do so because the picture of all five of them on the front, first of all, the bald guy on the left. Who's the bald guy on the left, Maggie? What a happy smile.
That is our bass player, and he is most definitely just like a little drop of serotonin anywhere he goes. He's the happiest guy. And
you can tell.
All around.
You can tell.
Great.
Yeah, it's like the bald preppy guy smiling on the left, and then a couple of hippies, and then this hot badass queen right in the middle. So like, go on, girl. MagnoliaBoulevardBand.com. Best to you, my friend. Best of luck with this music, and we can't wait to see you out live at some point.
Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate you all, and love talking to you.